welcome. I'm Michael. I work for the Dutch postcode lottery. You might not know it because we're not in France. And today I'd like to present you a new Java feature that was introduced in Java 21. So about 7 months ago. Today, 7 months ago actually, and it's still a preview feature. And I thought it's a nice topic just to present, just to walk you through it, what it is doing in 50 minutes. So I do have some live coding. I hope that's going well, because I just had a little problem with the laptop. But let's see. So I have here, I do hope that everybody can read that. I think it's big enough. So I have some very simple Java code. I'm not going to run that now because, first of all, it's actually not running. That's a main method. It has it prints hello Java basically. Now what I'm going to do, and there's nothing special now about this code. So what I'm going to do is an IntelliJ here. I'm going to tell it that I want to use Java 21. And if I do that, I suddenly get a message here. So it's underlined and it tells me, oh hey, you can improve something here. So it tells me replace with string template. So what is that? What can be better here? So let's just do that, and I suddenly get this. And the first time I looked at this, I thought, okay, that's a strange syntax. So what is this actually? Like, it doesn't really look like a method. It looks like a bit off from the normal Java logic. You know, you have a dot and then something, or you have a method call, but there's now suddenly a dot. Okay. Let's maybe run it and see what it's doing. Doesn't take too long. Yes. So okay, as expected, it says hello Java. This is a strange syntax. So let's see what this is all about and why it was introduced. As a motivation, let's look at string concatenation so far. What do we have? So everybody knows that one here in line 10. So you can just have strings, you concatenate them with a plus. If you do that multiple times, it's not the nicest syntax, right? Then the second option is a string builder. It has a disadvantage. It's a bit like verbose, right? So you need to call the append method, and it becomes rather lengthy. So doesn't look particularly nice, let's say. Then you have a few other options. So you have the string concatenation with string format, but you need to call the formatted method or string format. So it's a method call, and it's maybe not that easy to read, let's say. Then you have the message format. I think there's also something a lot of people use for logging or something like this. It's also a bit verbose, so you need to call a method, and also the problem that you have that this doesn't work. So you actually need to put a string in here. You cannot put other things in here. Then there's also the string concat method, but it has the same problem. You cannot put primitive types in here, and so it's also not really perfect. Now, what I see a lot, and I work with business applications, there are always tests and JSON and XML and everything. So people tend to put these kind of things a lot in tests. So like to concatenate with a plus, and then if you want to have a variable in here, you need to do it like in this line, which is a lot to type. It's not easy to read. Now there was a thing introduced in Java some time ago. Were these text blocks, but still it needs to be just basically a constant string. So if you want to have this part as a variable, it doesn't really work. So it would be nice if you could do something like this, but this does not work. It didn't work with text blocks yet. Now let's have a look at some other languages. They do have that feature already. So C#, for example, you can have inner string variable interpolation, and you have to start it with a $. In Python, it starts with an F, Scala with an S, and JavaScript, and that's a $, and the curly parentheses inside. And Kotlin also can do it with a with a dollar. So wouldn't it be nice to have something like this in Java as well? Now, Java came up with something, and this is, let's look at the timeline first. So Java 21 released last year. There was a preview feature, the first one, that introduced also these string templates. Then in Java 22, that was released 2 months ago, or the second preview, it's still in the preview state. The second preview, it's a separate GEP, but it's actually the same. There's hardly any difference. There's some technical details. And there is a third one, 465. The third preview, this only states it's the same, but we want to finalize it. So maybe in Java 23, 24, 25, it will be not a preview feature anymore, but available. Now, let's look at syntax, how this now works. I created just a few tests just to play around with it, just to see what it is doing and how it does work. So the basic syntax is we need to start it with a template processor. In this case, it's str, and this is you don't need to import this. So this is it's just part of the language basically. Then you put the string template as such. It's a string, so it's just looks like a string, and inside / curly brackets. And here you can have an expression basically. So if I have this and name is defined as Michael, so my name and my age, yeah, this is basically what we had before. It will just print this. So this will be replaced by the actual values. Now we can do a few more things. So we can also have a method called, and it can be any expression basically. So if I do this, yeah, well, it says it has 7 characters because that's the value of the length. Now we can also have basically any expressions we can calculate in here as well, and I will do it correctly. So that's the result of x plus y. Now let's see what's happening under the hood here actually. So let's say I do this here. So I just put a class in here. What do I get? So it says this is my class. And why is this happening? Because my class, if I look at the implementation of this, I've overridden the toString, and it returns just this. And this is basically what the string template processor str is doing. It just calls the toString method of whatever you put in there. See if I'm more, yes. Now let's say you really would like to have / curly parentheses in there, and not as an expression. Then you basically just have to escape it with 2, and then you, it's not evaluated. So you get this. Nice thing, it also works with text blocks, so that works exactly the same. So it doesn't have to be. It can be a text block, not a string. So you can also do this. Yep. And maybe one thing important to know is this is not a statement. So a method, you could, even though this might be useless in this case, you can just call like this. I mean, this method could do something under the hood. This does not work with a string template. So you actually do have to assign it to something like this. Then it does work. Yeah. So you cannot really abuse this as a method call or something. I mean, you could do it like this, obviously, but you need to assign it to something. So this is just a quick review of the structure. So you need to assign it to a variable, in this case text. You need to have the template processor, str in this case. Then you have the string template, that's the whole string, and inside these expressions are called template expressions. It also has a nice integration with IntelliJ. So in the latest version, you get some hints. So this one we have already seen that you can replace it. If you do unnecessary things, you also get a hint. What also happens if you do this basically? I just commented this out. You also get a hint because you didn't specify the template process, but you have to do it. You cannot have this just in a string. That gives a compilation issue. Yeah, and this one, yeah, you also get a hint from IntelliJ, which tells you that you can, yeah, this is actually not necessary. You can just do it like this. So it's just a hint. Yeah, this we have seen before. So you got actually that it can be replaced by a template. And yes, I noticed that actually if you update IntelliJ, these hints change a little bit. Because I had this problem yesterday. I went through this presentation and suddenly, oh, the hints are different. I need to restructure the test. I need to be. It might be different soon. Now let's have a look at the provided processors. So we already saw the STR processor, and they simply evaluates the expression to that string, to the string representation of it. This for the time I don't gonna run this one. There is another one. It's called FMT. That's actually the only other one provided out of the box. And what this is doing is you can put this format how's it called? the format here, and this is the same as in the printf function actually method. So it's to most people probably a little bit familiar. And you can put it in front of the slash, and it will basically format according to what you put there. So you have the date, and I only print the year, and I put the 9 digits of pi. And there is another one, but this is not really, it's kind of a processor, but what it's actually doing, it doesn't return a string. It does return actually a string template as such, as a class, and you can use it to do something else, basically. This is, yeah. Now, let's see. Okay, I still have a few minutes. What you can also do is you can implement your own string template processors. So now here it becomes a little bit more interesting. So what I tried to do is, just to show this here, implemented a few myself. I did not find a lot online because as it is new, people have not really used that so much, so I came up with just a few random things. So here I'm putting an optional in here, which contains 7, and now I implemented this string template processor, which extracts that optional. So you can implement your own string template processor. And the last one I did is, which is interesting, is it does not have to return. I'm gonna show this one. It doesn't have to return actually a string. It can return anything, this processor. So I have a list here. And this list I put in here, and my string template processor I've implemented actually returns a list. So if you do this, so it's one string actually, I pass it to processor, and now it returns a list, which you can see here. I am out of time basically. I will just show how it actually looks like. The only thing you need to do is you basically implement the string template processor interface, and you tell it what you do, basically. Quickly, just the last one. That's actually an interesting one. This is an anti-pattern. You should not do it. It's also written in the GRP that you should not do this. So I have a list here, and I print out its size, which is obviously 4 in this case. Now I pass it to the string template, and when done, it's suddenly empty, because in the template I simply took that list, and because it's mutable, I just cleared it, and it's something that you shouldn't do. So okay, that's it.